they chase, here to share their wisdom, light up the place. From viral hits to the grassroots beat, T.H.A.T shows the boss, where real lives meet. Your street, from maneuvers and shakers to the hidden gem. T.H. shows the spotlight shining on them. Up for amazing things. It's clear, bringing you the best all year. Welcome to the hub where fates unfold. Community rock stars, their stories told. Market and geniuses, they take the stand. This is T.H. Show, we've got the plan. With dreams they chase, here to share their wisdom, light up the place. From viral hits to the grassroots beat, T.H.A.T shows the boss, where real lives meet. So tune tight, it's time to see the heroes of our world. On your street, from maneuvers and shakers to the hidden gem. T.H. shows the spotlight shining on them. Up for amazing things. It's clear, bringing you the best all year. To the hub where fates unfold. Community rock stars, their stories told. Market and geniuses, they take the stand. This is T.H. Show, we've got the plan. Yes, with every town, with dreams they chase, here to share their wisdom, light up the place. From viral hits to the grassroots beat, T.H.A.T shows the boss, where real lives meet.
Hello and welcome to That Show, the hub for amazing things. I'm your host, Liz Lathan, co-founder of Club Ichi, the #1 place for B2B event marketers to connect. Today's our pilot episode. As we create this proof of concept, we're playing with our live broadcast studio setup here and creating a whole new way for our community to experience the latest and greatest content from across the industry. Shout out to Arthur Karakash on the keyboard, Fusion Events, for making this whole broadcast happen. Our plan is to host these live broadcasts monthly, so if you want in on the action and would like to host a segment or be a featured guest, drop us a line. Meanwhile, for this pilot episode, we had a little AI make that song you were just jamming to, and had T.H.A.T help us with the news bit. And this just in, straight from T.H.A.T, in the tech world, a major player in event management software has just announced the launch of a new AI-driven platform designed to enhance attendee engagement. This innovative tool promises to revolutionize how we interact with our audiences, providing personalized experiences and real-time analytics to optimize event success. Well, that was crap. We're not doing that again. Why don't we go to some real news? Let's touch on a mega event industry event that's coming up in just a few months. Club Ichi has an incredible hosted buyer program at IMEX Americas, the event industry's ultimate neighborhood block party. Over 14,000 global event professionals are coming to this one, and if you're looking to join a hosted buyer program, we have one for you. Or if you're already going to IMEX and just want to hang with the Club Ichi crew, let's get you on the list so you can keep up with everything we're doing. IMEX is a proud partner of Club Ichi, and we are a proud partner of IMEX. So excited about this. And now, speaking of excitement, we have a bit of breaking news. I have a very special guest here with us today, Janice Cardinale, founder of Event Minds Matter, to share an incredible industry update. Janice, I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here, Liz. And
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody who is here. This is a very exciting and special day, particularly for me and my community called Event Minds Matter, because my baby is merging with Club Ichi, and that's an incredible, incredible storyline. 2.5 years of building this has really gone very quickly. And now to be involved with these ladies who are incredible is also very special to me. I believe that this merger will help Event Minds Matter shape the future of our profession and impact the next generation of thought leaders. Liz and Nicole are both caring, kind, and empathetic. They're humans who have always supported our community and who will enrich our future and bring more awareness and acceptance to everyone in the industry. Our mission to build brave spaces to amplify the conversation on mental distress and wellness will continue. And by doing this, our voices will grow stronger because we are better together. And thank you both. I love you.
Unbelievable industry news. Thank you, Janice. We are honored and grateful that Janice is trusting her community, her baby, to us and Club Ichi. Look for more Event Minds Matter content and opportunities to get involved on the Club Ichi website and in the Slack channel. Now, you know that Club Ichi is known for our behind-the-scenes adventures, so I'd like to switch gears and take you behind the scenes of the recent Disney Upfront, supported by Club Ichi partners NMR Events and MC² Experience.
In true Disney fashion, the Disney Upfront 2024 could not deliver a standard business presentation. It had to be an immersive experience. It had to be imaginative and impressive with perfect execution. Once again, Disney called upon NMR Events to partner with Pine Rock and MC² to support them in making this the best ever Disney Upfront production. This incredibly talented group of people produced one of the most impressive, memorable events of the year. As Disney now leads the streaming industry, it was important to showcase its best year in global reach with an inviolable blend of innovation and storytelling. Featuring over 150 of the biggest and brightest stars, transforming a section of the Javits Convention Center into a space for nearly 4,000 attendees took more than magic. It took meticulous planning and execution. This versatile set was designed and developed with precision, and the safety of the attendees was critical. With content being king, all show production deliverables were produced using an After Effects template supplied by NMR Events to ensure they were 100% playback ready. A dedicated production room was ready upon arrival for the Disney creative team to utilize. As planned, the show was flawless and executed perfectly as we worked hand in hand with the Disney company. The energy was palpable, and it was obvious that the audience was completely blown away by this amazing Disney production. We're ready to bring this level of production to your event. When you think Center of Excellence, think NMR Events.
Hi, I'm David T. Stevens, and thanks for joining me here at the Wellness Desk. You probably didn't expect to see me, and Well, thank you to Liz and Nicole for having me. This is where we are going to cover all things wellness at events. No, not wellness events like yoga retreats, but wellness at corporate events. We will have a few things that we'll cover from month to month, so I wanted to take a moment to introduce these segments to you so you know what to expect from me. If you think something is missing, let us know in the comments. Please include it either on LinkedIn or YouTube. Okay, first, what's up with wellness? Now, in this graphic, you'll see a QR code where you can follow along in between the segments, but this is where we will talk about industry trends and what's up in the space. For example, here you can see that there's a CVent report, there's a Freeman report, there's a McKinsey report, all these crazy things that are happening in the wellness space as it relates to events. Next, we very well might share some silly, fun, or crazy videos that we find on the internet and can't help ourselves. We focus on those videos and we call it wellness washing. This is better explained with the video, so let's roll the clip.
Whatever happened to wellness being about how to improve your well-being? Here are just a few of the videos that I've been sent in the last few weeks. First up, we have people telling you that you should expose your pelvis to the elements. Then we have people telling you that you should consume a poison to encourage your body to detox.
Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another.
Then we have influencers telling you that you shouldn't touch shopping receipts because they contain too much estrogen and will dampen your testosterone levels.
You realize that receipt has more estrogen materials than birth control. If you care about your testosterone, never touch receipts.
Then one of my favorites is using a magic wand to improve the quality of the water that you drink.
When you wand your water, you actually become more hydrated. This wand will bring your water back into coherency.
And then of course we have this guy who is telling you to drink your own urine because it has some magical health benefits.
So I've been practicing urine therapy for the greater part of the last 2 decades. I drink a little bit of it every morning. This is aged urine.
Or the current trend of people telling you to shove coffee up your butt because it's going to help you to detox.
Coffee enemas are an amazing way to instantly relieve bloating and constipation at home, whilst also supporting your liver detoxification.
I'm never going to blame individuals for falling for this stuff because there is so much misinformation out there and the wellness industry is incredibly confusing. Focus on the basics and you'll have far more success than following any of this nonsense. Thanks.
All right, just to be clear, what we're doing is ensuring you know if you're spending your ever so tight event budget on legitimate things or not. Like doing coffee enemas instead of a coffee break seems like a terrible idea. Okay, lastly, we'll be venturing out into the world to show off some world-class destinations that offer compelling offers for wellness for groups. What does that even mean? Well, it means they can offer fitness at various intensities for 50, 100, or 200 people. Their banquets menu has some real thought behind it and is designed with intention. They have connections that help the community get engaged and the group give back to that community in their destinations. And lastly, they offer opportunities to be mindful on their property, kind of like this. All right, well, that's it for today. I can't wait to see you in the comments, especially about the fact that I own a tie, surprise, surprise, and in the Club Ichi Slack group. By the way, did you know when you become a Club Ichi insider, you get an instant 90-day boost to Platinum Elite status with Marriott Bonvoy? I happen to be Titanium. But anybody can be Platinum. So from breakfast credits to club level lounge access, you'll earn back the cost of membership in just a few stays. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today.
Happy anniversary. It's really hard to believe that it's been 5 years.
Merit Bonvoy can enrich the life of our members, connecting them to the people, places, and passions that they love.
Merit Bonvoy begins with you!
Lots of work to be done, but today is a day for celebration.
It is so great to see the company come out while we celebrate our 5th year anniversary of Marriott Bonvoy.
Thanks, Dave. We'll see you next month. That was so fun. Speaking of wellness, did you know that Club Ichi has chartered a private yacht to sail the Adriatic Sea off the coast of Croatia this fall? It's the ultimate leisure trip with business content and leisure activities. We have just a few cabins left on our 15-cabin yacht, so check out weareichi.com and click on the events page to learn more. But now that we've covered personal and professional wellness, it's time to talk about the well-being of our industry. I'd like to introduce Trace Morgan, Senior Event Leader in the technology sector. So excited to have you here, Trace. This is going to be an amazing conversation.
Thanks, Liz. Let's meet our panelists and dive right into the conversation, shall we?
Let's do it.
First, we have Ana Villegas. Ana is a 2-time CMO for public and private equity companies. She's an executive Latina, currently supporting nonprofits with their go-to-market strategy, mentoring, and board leadership. Nick Topping is the CRO and CMO of Access Marketing Agency. A marketer rooted in sales, one of Nick's superpowers is unlocking the synergy between sales and marketing for his clients. And finally, Steve Hardy. Steve is a 4-time CMO at public, private equity, and venture capital-backed companies, and now he helps SaaS startups fix their pipeline issues. Welcome to our panelists. We're hearing from our industry pundits that events are absolutely exploding right now. As the only marketing vehicle that is virtually AI-proof when it comes to trust and authenticity of content, we're being told that it is the place to invest. And we're seeing some events break attendee records and have to cut off registration. But on the flip side, we hear from many event organizers that in some industries that attendance is way down and they're pulling back on events because the target audiences aren't showing up and the costs are just too darn high. Ana, let's start with you. How are you thinking about events in your marketing mix for the second half of this year?
So one of the main things I'm seeing in events is if you do the homework of knowing who your targeting audience is and knowing what are the metrics you're going to focus and target, doing events is really the best way to bring the experience to acquire and retain your customers and to drive your business. I see also that from a shift, your budget and marketing spend, we are seeing more of that spend going into experiences versus going into a traditional marketing tool.
Interesting. Steve, as a former head of marketing for Gartner, I know you have some thoughts about events. How should companies be looking at their event spend in the marketing mix this fall?
Yeah, well, it was some time ago since I was head of marketing at Gartner, but I learned an awful lot about how events can have a tremendous impact on pipeline when done incredibly well. But it just doesn't happen, right? You have to be really purposeful about how you use events as part of your marketing mix. And there were really 3 things that I always focus on, and that's what I've been focusing on now in order to take event attendees and turn them into well-paying customers and clients. So I focus on 3 things. First of all, as Ana was just saying, you've got to really focus on who's attending the events and making sure that you're going to the events that your target customers are at. So that's the first thing, making sure that you're targeting appropriately. The second thing is all about thinking about events as both the before the activity, during the activity, and then after the activity. These are not just a one and done thing. It's an entire curated experience before, during, and after. And then particularly when you're at the event, you have to create experiences that are really honed in to help convert those prospects into paying clients. So it's about meeting with happy customers, meeting with subject matter experts, anything that will really help provide an experience that shows them what it's like to be a happy client. So that's the way that I've been really successful in justifying spend in events to fill the pipeline.
I love that framework, Steve. Thanks for sharing that with us. Nick, let's go to you. You have many clients who are investing in events right now. What are the key decision-making factors they're considering when they're signing up for events?
Sure. Yeah, they are considering a lot when they're going to events or hosting events at events. So some of the main things that we're seeing is obviously tracking the projected cost and the ROI of the event. So what are they going to get back from it? What are they going to get out of attending, taking their people out of the office or their travel time and expenses, that sort of thing. And then going back to what some of the others have said, we're obviously looking at the audience and the ICP and their ideal customer profile, what titles are going to be there, what people are going to be there. And even breaking it down if they're a part of the decision-making unit. So they may not be the sole decision maker, but if they're a part of that unit when they get back to the office, they're trying to drive people to go to these events. A lot of the other times they're looking at sponsorship opportunities. There's always the typical ones like coffee and things we talked about earlier, but specifically speaking opportunities and how to get in front of people that they haven't engaged with before, while bringing in current customers into the mix and just seeing what they can do in the area while speeding sales cycles or creating bigger ops or moving them faster. So there's some interesting things that they can do around geofencing and retargeting as well to help build their lists and build nurture streams and things like that as people go into certain areas for paid ads and targeting, which is pretty unique.
Interesting. Steve, what do you think is an area of event marketing that's ready for disruption?
Oh, that's a good question. Again, I think it all comes back down to experience and really surrounding the event attendees, and not just any event attendees, but particularly those targets who are in your ideal customers, who are in your target audience. So, using newer methods like geofencing, that's not necessarily new, but just using methods to really zero in on the specific needs of your buyers and share them the experience, I think is absolutely key. That's what I'd be focusing on.
Fantastic. Anna, is content still king?
Content is king, and I think events and content need to be looked at together. So sometimes when you think about the budget, you say, okay, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars in my event, and then you will think about content creation for your brand as a separate item. The reality is an event needs strong content before the event, but also creates opportunity of creating content during the event, so then you can use it afterwards. So your event becomes a hub for content creation. So I would say, yes, it's king, but it's king when it's paired with the event and the experience. And looking at what the customer is going to have as part of the journey before the event, during the event, and after the event. And that's where you can really have a very powerful strategy, because you are not just looking at, okay, day X at this time, this is the piece I'm going to give the customer. You are looking at this over time to create that loyalty and to convert that customer to be your customer for the future.
I love that point of view. Thank you so much. Nick, here's one for you. AI was the last big thing. What's the next big thing?
That's a great question. I think it can be a lot. I think there's a lot that we can still do with video. I think obviously AI is going to play a big piece in that, but as as Anna was saying, you know, there's lots that goes into creating content and things like that, and you just have to find different ways to cut through the noise. People are so busy these days. You know, there's short form content, long form content. If you can take a piece that cuts through the noise and really draws in people's attention, then that's going to be what gets you in front of more customers and more clients and prospects. So I think that'll have a big way to help.
Fantastic. Final thought for all of you. I'd love to hear, what is the one business event you don't miss? Steve, let's start with you.
I'm a big fan of the Forrester Serious Decisions event for marketers. I think it's a really great, you know, there's lots of great vendors who come there, and it's a really great way to network and meet with leaders in the marketing industry.
Anna?
For me, is that ANA, the Association of National Advertisers, their annual conference, because you have all the brands come and share their case studies, and you can also network with CMOs, you know, from different parts across the world. So I find that event extremely powerful.
ANA, thank you for that. Nick, how about you?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say it's still the HubSpot conference. It's the one that I've probably been to the most, and seems like there's always something exciting and meeting new faces and everything going on there. So
fantastic. Thank you all for being here today on our inaugural panel, and thanks for sharing your insights and perspectives on the industry and events in H2. Liz, back to you in the studio.
Oh my gosh, Trace, thank you so much. Nick, Anna, Steve, really appreciate you joining us today and sharing your insights and perspective. It was eye-opening and enlightening for us as we look through the second half and try to figure out really how do we go take a look at what's happening in our event space. And hearing that forecast for the rest of the year makes me think that we should grab our umbrellas, because I think it's about to rain data. Let's head over to the Insights desk with Brittany Haggerty from VivaStream and find out what benchmarks we should be adding to our reporting as we start to wrap up Q3 and head into Q4. I think she has a specific angle we're going to dig into today. Brittany?
Thanks, Liz. Yeah, today our insights are going to focus on the sponsorship landscape. So whether you're exhibiting at someone else's event or coordinating sponsors for your own event, let's take a look at some benchmark data so you can see what's happening around sponsor engagement. And just so you know, the events we're talking about these are corporate events, not trade shows, from the technology sector, ranging in size from 1,000 to 35,000 attendees. So let's look at some basics here. The number of sponsors is on average 53, with not much of a difference whether you're looking virtual or in person. And yes, virtual still exists, so we are still looking at it. Where we do see a big difference is in the number of attendees that are visiting a booth. Big difference between in-person and virtual, with 60% of the audience is visiting a booth in person, only 15% virtually, which makes sense. In person, you typically have a large expo. It's a big presence at your event, so people will wander in and likely visit a sponsor. And in terms of the number of booths, people want to know, well, how many booths do people visit? This is just an average, 4 for in-person, 6 virtual. Now you may be wondering, well, how do these numbers vary with the size of the event or the number of sponsors there? You know, doesn't that make a difference? So now let's take a deeper dive into the sponsor landscape at in-person events to see what's happening. So here it seems that the number of booths, which is the number across the bottom in the chart, does impact the percent of audience that's going to visit them. With fewer than 20 sponsors, attendees might not find any exhibitors that interest them, and therefore they won't go do it, and there's so much else they could be doing. But with 80 or more sponsors, your attendees are likely to find something that interests them. The key here is, it seems, that having more than 20 sponsors is likely to draw more than half of your audience to visit at least one booth. Now, in terms of how many booths are attendees visiting, while the average is 4, it actually does correlate with and makes sense with the number of booths at an event. Interestingly, up to about 60 exhibitors, it seems that attendees will visit 10% of what's there. That's what the data shows, and this is all about data. But then once you're beyond 60, it's a little less predictable. So you can't say, oh, let's get 150 sponsors and everyone will visit 15 booths. That you don't know. Remember, these are large multi-day events. There's a lot of stuff going on. So people, may or may not go to the booths. But yeah, so typically if you're looking for these, want to get an idea of what will happen with sponsor visits, these are some numbers you can consider. Now, if you're interested in registration trends, I'm going to pass it over to Jahan from SWUGO to talk about registration trends.
Thanks, Brittany. Reporting live from our SWUGO offsite in Utah. Wait, what's that? We're getting reports about the great debate of registration length. This goes back to being intentional with the data we collect and how we're using it. Why are we asking these registration questions, and are we asking them at the right time? Registration numbers are trending down, as we heard earlier, and one way to combat that is to lower the friction. Shorter forms and rethinking the legacy fields we've asked just because we always ask that. But what are we doing with that information afterward? Are we being intentional about the time that it takes registrants to complete registration? Not to show my age, but ain't nobody got time for that. Along those same lines, there's a big focus on prioritization of those questions. There might be a push-pull dynamic between your event teams and sales and marketing. Should the focus be on getting the essential information and payment from the start, the items that will affect logistics and planning, the zero-party data that helps with the personalized experiences that matter? Do you then have a follow-up CTA with more sales-focused questions or other logistical questions that weren't ready from jump? How likely are registrants to log back in to answer those questions? Do you have the capability to seamlessly direct registrants back to the platform to easily complete those registration fields? The easier you make the process, the less friction to get the information that matters to your teams. So we're excited to see how event teams decide on the data they want to collect, when and how that's being used. That's all from Utah. Now over to Nicole for her favorite things.
Oh my God. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nicole's Favorite Things, where you might guess we're going to go through a few of my favorite things. The first thing was I've always wanted an intro, so that's been checked off my bucket list. Woo! Anyways, this show is so exciting, our first one, and it feels like Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, that's one of my favorite things, and we have 147 days left till Christmas, so I'm ringing my Christmas bells, getting my Hallmark movie watching things going out, and picking the small towns that I'm going to add to my Pinterest list and probably never go and visit. But moving on, the next favorite thing that I love is that we have 193 insiders for Club Ichi, which is my all-time favorite. But what would be my most favoriteest thing is if by the time we wrap this up today is if we had 200. So go to weareichi.com and get an insider membership. Oh my God, so fun. Okay. Some of you may know that we had one of my all-time favorite things, which is a secret trip. Please, back in 2019, we created the world's first secret business trip where we invited 80 experiential marketers to join us, and they had no idea where we were going. Surprised them, took them to Tuscany on a chartered jet, did all these fabulous things, and here we are. Well, thank you for everybody that's been telling us for years and years that they want to bring it back, because a big announcement, also favorite thing, is that we are going to bring that trip back in 2026. So it's going to be bigger, better, and if we pull it off, I'm retiring. So see you later. And lastly, Liz mentioned it before, was we are going to Croatia on a yacht. And one of my favorite things is when your captain is hot. So let's take a look at this video of the yacht captain and why you should go. Because if there wasn't enough business and leisure value, there certainly is now. Watch this.
Hello to all Ichi members, club. I'm Haroe, captain on Lupus Mare yacht. Prepare for yourself swimming suits, prepare your dancing shoes, bring with you a lot of positive energy, and we are all here looking to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
We are here training for the Ichi week in October, and it's gonna be the best week of this summer, your week. Welcome.
Oh my God, they sing, they dance, and they're not ugly. That's definitely some of my favorite things. Thank you for joining us today. Back to you, Liz.
Whew. Well, that was a whirlwind of awesome sauce. We did our best to pack everything we could into 30 minutes, and I think we did pretty good, maybe 5 minutes over. So thank you so much to our inaugural guests. And let's give a huge round of applause to Arthur Karakash from Fusion Events, our producer extraordinaire. Unbelievable. We hope you have loved watching the show as much as we have loved making it. Please share your feedback with us. We'd love to know what you'd like to hear about. We're headed back into planning mode for our next episode in August. Thanks again, everybody. We will see you next time.
Welcome to the hub where fates unfold. Communities, rock stars, their stories told. Market and geniuses, they take the stand. This is T.H.A.T show. We've got the plan. Yes, with every town, with dreams they chase, here to share their wisdom, light up the place. From viral hits to the grassroots beat, T.H.A.T shows the boss, where real lives meet. So tune tight, it's time to see the heroes of our world on your screen. From maneuvers and shakers to the hidden gem. T.H.A.T shows the spotlight shining on them. Up for amazing things. It's clear, bringing you the best. Oh yeah. Welcome to the hub where fates unfold. Community, rock stars, their stories told. Market and geniuses, they take the stand. This is T.H.A.T show. We've got the plan. Yes, with every town, with dreams they chase, here to share their wisdom, light up the place. From viral hits to the grassroots beat, T.H.A.T shows the boss, where real lives meet. So tune tight, it's time to see the heroes of our world on your screen. From maneuvers and shakers to the hidden gem. T.H.A.T shows the spotlight shining on them. Up for amazing things.